Hi, my name is Peaches, and I want to share a little bit of my healing testimony with you guys today. So I already went in with anticipation. What I was looking for was for my ears. I was born with a hearing problem. I was told that probably by the time I was 50 or even 55, I was going to lose all hearing. It was going to get to the point where, I wasn't going to be able to hear anything, and hearing aids were no longer going to do anything for me, and surgery wasn't going to help either. As I got older, my hearing decreased more and more and more, to the point where about 15 years ago, I had to start wearing hearing aids. But even with the hearing aids, I felt like it wasn't enough, it wasn't working. A lot of the times I wouldn't even come to church because I couldn't hear the sermon or I couldn't hear the music, and I just felt lost all the time, and I just felt like I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I came in today to service, believing in God for a miracle. And as I was sitting, the enemy was putting thoughts in my mind. I'm not worthy of this healing. I'm not good enough. My life isn't where I need to be. And every time the enemy put a thought in my head, it's like Pastor Caleb would say something that would rebuke what my thoughts were. There's nothing I need to do to earn it. God paid for it. By His stripes I'm healed. There's nothing I needed to do. My healing was free, and He wants me to receive it. And as Pastor Caleb was calling the different ailments, first he called back. I'm like, okay, that's not for me. Then he called heart condition. Not for me. Then he said physical ailments like diabetes, lupus, cancer. I was like, okay, that's also not me. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for him to say, people who deal with hearing problems or vision problems. Service ended, and the enemy immediately put in my head, well, today's not your day. You came for nothing. I felt like this fire go through me and said, no, you need to go up for prayer. You need to be obedient. You need to take that step. That is not like me. I'm normally very introverted, very shy, very nervous about doing stuff like that. But I stepped out in obedience, and reality was my faith was faltering. I grew up with Alicia, and I have an app on my phone that as people talk to me, it transcribes what they're saying. So when I go up to Pastor Caleb, I'm with my phone, and I want to hear what he's saying. And my daughter says, give me your phone. And I said, no, because then I can't hear what he's saying. But she took it anyways. She acted out in faith for me. And immediately what came into my mind was when the man was lowered through the roof by his friends, their faith helped him receive his healing. So I stood on my daughter's faith, and I stood on Pastor Caleb's faith, and I said, okay, now it's my turn to step out in faith for myself. And immediately as I go up, without even saying anything, Pastor Caleb says, spirit of deafness. So I knew right there, this is my moment. God's going to heal me. He put his hands on my ear, and I felt the fire of God. I felt immediately like my ears were on fire, and I still had my hearing aids on at this point, and all of a sudden everything got so extremely loud to the point where it was bothering me. So I pulled out my hearing aids, I gave them to Alicia, and Pastor Caleb started whispering in my ear and asked me to repeat what he said. That was something that I could have never done before, and everything he said, I repeated it. I used to read lips, and so the fact that he was in my ear and I wasn't looking directly at him and I knew what he was saying, I was just completely amazed by it. And I felt the fire of God just rush through me. And I got up, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, there's music in church, there's people talking. I felt like this haze, this fog that was over my life was just completely gone. And at this point, we call my mom. I haven't had a phone conversation with my mom in years. I can't hear on the phone. I have an app that would caption everything people are saying, and I pick up the phone, and service is still, it's the end of service, so there's still music going on, there's still people talking, and I'm able to have a phone conversation with my mother. It was like I wanted to talk to everybody, and because I can't have conversations with people, I would shy away and I wouldn't really talk to anybody. But all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I can hear what they're saying, I can have a conversation with you, I can talk to you, and we can, back and forth. I'm not wearing my hearing aids, I'm able to have a conversation. I almost lived in constant fear of getting older, of, okay, Am I going to be able to hear my grandchildren? Is this something that I have to live with for the rest of my life? You know, what is the quality of my old age, my retirement, when my grandbabies come up to me and, you know, they want to talk to me? Am I going to be able to have a conversation with them? And the enemy just put that on me. This is who you are. This is your future. Just accept it. I would even try to form logic as to why I couldn't hear. Well, maybe this is, you know, how God made me. This is how God wants me. But that's not true. The enemy wants to keep you sick. The enemy wants to keep you from being free, from being totally healed. Jesus died on the cross, and by his stripes we were healed. And I kept telling myself, you're not worthy enough, you're not good enough, this isn't for you. But by the grace of God, I had a moment where I just accepted, yes, this is why Christ died on the cross. It was for this exact moment that Jesus took all my infirmity, all the pain that he suffered, was so that I can live free and I can live a life without that fog. I felt like the veil was torn. For the first time in my life, I felt free. I felt alive. And knowing now that that's not going to be a problem, that I can communicate with my future generations, that old age isn't going to be bleak. I have a whole future ahead of me. It's just an amazing feeling.